It's Nolan.
What's going on, y'all? It's the kid J Nolan here. Today we're going to be talking about one of the biggest guys in music and Hollywood, Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, and the young lady whose face was featured on his album, the funk album Awaken My Love, which was a huge hit, a huge success for him. It's actually the album that made him a staple in the culture, because before then he was releasing rap music, doing mixtape style tracks, which got him a cult following or a following of some sort. But this album, Awaken My Love, is what solidified him in the hearts of many. Unfortunately, somebody whose heart he did not seem to win favor in is the model who's featured on that album cover by the name of Giannina Otete. I believe she's an African model, designer, creative director. She does a lot of things within, the behind the scenes of the game. She recently came out and said that she received low pay, no residuals, and she hasn't been properly compensated for the use of her image on this highly loved, critically acclaimed album from Childish Gambino's discography. So boom, Childish Gambino, also professionally known by his real name Donald Glover, has been accused of not paying the woman featured on his Awaken My Love album cover. The woman depicted in the project, Miss Giannina Antoinette Otete, she updated supporters on the ongoing fight to receive her overdue payments for this work. Otete detailed the news in a now deleted post from Facebook. She says that neither she or her team have ever received the residuals that they were promised. She says, being able to hold an album that I'm on the cover of and having my bestie mom next to me to celebrate, my number one cheerleader. This album has been so hard for me to celebrate for many reasons, and for years I resented it even. It put me through a lot, but finally being able to celebrate it means a lot. She comes back with an update talking about the resent and why things made her feel a certain way. She says, I resented it because myself, the makeup artist, and the stylist, all black women, were taken advantage of and lied to. She says, we received low pay, but were promised residuals. However, never received anything. The only person who received residuals was a white woman who created the headpiece that's on her head in the photo, even though she was not even on set to work on this. But she also deserves it, she says. After years of lies and silence, then finding out statute of limitation complications, it's been exhausting, emotional, and overall sad thing to deal with. So it took so much for me, especially the fact that we all worked on it with so much love and being proud to represent black artists. All of my lawyer's communications have been ignored by the artist and his team. Hashtag bittersweet. Now, as she stated in this post, the album came out in 2015. It's now 2023. So when she says that it's beyond the statute of limitations, I do believe that a claim for a loss or some sort of bad deduction or bad debt or whatever, the statute of limitations on that is about 7 years. I do think that there is a way that she could possibly get this handed into court, and maybe somebody would come back, open this case for her. She just needs to get a sound legal team to work on her behalf. But I do find this to be a very interesting situation, namely because this is not the first time that we've heard of Childish Gambino, quote unquote, mistreating black women in the workplace. Remember, when Swarm came out, people were definitely critical of how he treated Dominique Fishback. They felt like he was pushing her beyond her limits. She said that it helped her create the character. Other people were like, I don't know, you saving face right now. At the time when that story came out, I was actually erring on the side of Childish Gambino, aka Donald Glover, because I felt like that was his technique. There's been a lot of other directors in the film industry that use techniques similar to what he did in order to get her to portray that role. Some people feel like he manipulated her because he didn't want her to play that role initially, but she was very much so passionate about it. It was something that she wanted to do, and she wanted to prove that she could do it because she wanted to break out of anything else that she had already done. But now that we get this story, and then we see that not only the woman whose face was featured on the album cover, but the other black women that were present on set that were all promised a certain amount of money and a certain amount of residuals for their work, none of them have received it. And let's be honest, if Donald Glover were treated the same way in the music industry, he would be trying to figure out a way to get his residuals and his pay based on what he did. So I can't overlook this based on his status, based on the fact that people love this guy, or based on any other bias of enjoying his work. Despite the ongoing legal dispute, Otete is still thriving in her professional career. Recently, she did work with Dapper Dan in collaboration for Gap. as their new collaboration celebrates his Harlem roots. I do want to correct myself. The album came out in 2016, but it was released on December 2nd of 2016. We're literally 7 years from the original release. And unfortunately, we're going into January, so I don't know. But keep in mind, guys, this album is RIAA Platinum certified, right? This nigga sold 100,000 physical, real copies of the album. Real people went out and put money toward it. They didn't just stream it. So this is a very lucrative album. This album produced a lot of money for a lot of people, right? It was released independently on Glassnote, right? That's a label that most people don't even know about if you're not in the jazz or alternative genre. You don't even know who Glassnote is. As I stated before, this album shifted a lot of people's perspective about who Donald Glover is and what he was. Shifted the narrative on his musical talent, right? He said that this album was a direct response to somebody challenging him and saying that he could not make a hit. Therefore, he made an album full of hits. The album received a Grammy nomination for Album of the Year and Best Urban Contemporary Album in 2018. And as I stated before, it's platinum, which is over 1 million units sold through actual sales and album sale equivalents via streaming. So this is a big deal. And to be a part of something that's successful, something that's going to continue to be played for decades, possibly. There's people that still listen to this album. Whenever he decides to go on tour and get on stage, he still performs this music, right? That album cover is going to be plastered all over the place for years to come. And she was never actually compensated fairly. I don't think that's okay. Donald Glover, man, her team is reaching out to you. Her people are reaching out to you. Her lawyers are reaching out to you. Answer them folks. Do right. You ain't got no problem paying them niggas on Atlanta. You ain't had no problem putting the money up to put out an independent project, right? You ain't had no problem going into the film business and launching your own company, employing yourself and your brother. Look out for this woman, man. Her face is always going to be synonymous with the one album from you that everybody's going to come back to. Do right by her. I don't give a fuck about the type of women that you date. If you like white women, that shit is not of importance. Take care of her and take care of the other 3 ladies that were there that helped assist with this project that you guys promised to them. You shouldn't have made no promises. You should have just paid them for their work that day. If it was that deep that you didn't want to pay nothing afterwards, could have paid them their set fee. Could have said, hey, this is how it's going down, right? I'm going to use this image in perpetuity. Here's your $1,500, $2,500 for the day, whatever it is. I'll see you later. If it was that deep, you should have done that up front. This is why business is so crucial though, man. Having ownership and understanding the ownership that you have over your name, image, likeness. Image and likeness is what we're talking about here. It's being exploited. It's being sold. It's being plastered all over the place. It's been on billboards. It's been on TV, right? It's been in actual stores. 2016, people were still selling records out of Target. That's her face on there. Your face ain't even on that shit. On your own project, all we see is this lady's face. You got to do right by her, bruh. Let me know what y'all think of this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit the post notification bell for all updates, and I will see y'all on the next one. Much love and respect, y'all.
Peace. King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming, I swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mile. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. When I catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.